Hi everyone, it's Katrina. Number 10. The Tattooed Mummy. Scientists in London made a fantastic discovery when they scanned 8 Egyptian mummies kept at the British Museum using the newest in medical technology. They were hoping to find something interesting, and they definitely did. They discovered that one of the female mummies has a tattoo of Archangel Michael on her inner thigh, and it was only revealed by the CT scans and infrared reflectography tests that were done at London Hospital. The 8 mummies all came from various eras and from different walks of life. Some were ordinary citizens who lived on the Nile 1,300 years ago, while others were from royal bloodlines. One of the mummies was only 2 years old, but another lived to be 50. And the oldest of them all was from 5,500 years ago. They weren't all discovered in one place, though. They were taken from a variety of burial grounds. It was supposed to be a comprehensive study looking at the differences in mummification throughout the years. But then came the discovery of the tattoo. The woman that had the tattoo was between 20 and 35 at the time of her death, according to Dr. David Antoine from the museum. She was found in Sudan and hadn't been properly mummified. She was only mummified because of where she was buried in the hot and dry desert. You might expect Egyptian mummies to have all kinds of Egyptian symbolism tattooed on them. But 1,300 years ago, that wasn't the case. However, it was popular to get angels from the Bible tattooed on your body if you were a devout Christian living in Egypt. Had you ever heard of this before? Let me know in the comments. Number 9. The Mothership. A Harvard scientist working with the head of the Pentagon's UFO office has suggested an alien mothership could be lingering in our solar system right now. Not only might the mothership be here, but it could also be sending out probes that it's using to explore planets in our solar system. The scientist called the probes dandelion seeds in a recent report that he got published. His name is Avi Loeb, an astronomer who recently became famous in the scientific community for his research on the interstellar object Oumuamua. This thing was discovered in 2017, floating through our solar system. Scientists originally thought it was a comet shaped like a cigar. However, it was rather strange in the way it behaved. It didn't have the ordinary gases that envelop a comet, and it seemed to accelerate away from the sun, as if propelled by some kind of engine. This prompted Avi Loeb to suggest that Oumuamua was a passing spaceship. The whole situation got him thinking, and soon he started wondering if it wouldn't be possible for a mothership to be releasing tiny probes that are programmed to comb the solar system like alien satellites. In the draft paper Avi and Sean Kirkpatrick from the Pentagon wrote up, they explained how it would be possible for dandelion seed probes to reach our planet without being detected by astronomers. They would be too small for modern survey telescopes to detect. But no real evidence has been found yet to prove that we are being watched by an alien civilization. Oumuamua was the closest thing to a spaceship in Avi and Kirkpatrick's eyes, but most scientists still think it was just a comet. And now for number 8. But first, I want to give a big shout out to Captain Youngs and Dream. Thanks so much for all the love. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and join the family. And let me know what other topics you'd like to see in the comments below. Number 8. The Creepy Jellyfish. Scientists in Hong Kong have discovered a new jellyfish with 24 eyes. This bizarre marine creature is very unusual. It was found in a shrimp pond, and its existence was previously unknown to science. The jellyfish is tiny and shaped like a miniature cube. It's also totally transparent, and it's related to one of the most venomous animals in the world. The colorless jellyfish has 12 slimy tentacles, but they are shaped like paddles more than anything. It's like it has 12 slippery kayak paddles that it uses to speed rapidly through the water. And surprisingly, it's way faster than most ordinary jellyfish. Scientists think its closest relative could be the Australian box jellyfish. Both are box jellies, belonging to a group of jellyfish known as cnidarians. The Australian box jelly is the most venomous marine animal that we know about. Just a single sting from one of these creatures can prove fatal. The weirdest part about the new jellyfish by far, though, is that it has 24 eyes arranged in 6 clusters around its bell-shaped body. Everything about this creature is unique when compared to its relatives. Researchers have named the animal Tripedalia maipoensis, after the Maipo Nature Reserve where it was found. It also happens to be the very first box jelly ever discovered in Chinese waters. It's small at only half an inch long and likely isn't dangerous to humans. However, its sting is venomous enough to stun shrimp, so it's capable of dazing its victims so they can easily be eaten. Number 7. Undersea volcanoes. Scientists have made a mind-boggling discovery deep in the ocean. Data analyst Julie Gevorgian with the Institute of Oceanography in California was the leader behind the discovery of 19,000 submerged volcanoes. Yep, you heard that right. They found a whopping 19,000 volcanoes underwater. In Julie's report, she mentions how only 20% of the ocean floor has ever been mapped by human beings. While she and her team found nearly 20,000 volcanoes, Julie said there could be thousands more covering the other 80% of unexplored ocean. The NOAA says over 3/4 of all volcanic activity on our planet happens underwater, and most of the volcanoes going off are located in the deepest parts of the ocean. But of course, not all volcanoes are still active. Out of the 19,000 volcanoes discovered, most of them are asleep or extinct and pose absolutely no danger to humanity. In total, there are somewhere around 43,000 identified undersea volcanoes, and almost all of them are dormant or dead. Julie and her team found the seamounts, as they are called by scientists, using a special technique called satellite altimetry. It's an incredible procedure that measures changes on the sea floor and the height of the sea surface. The new technology doubled the number of known sunken volcanoes in a single investigation. In the next few years, scientists are hoping to explore the entire ocean, mapping every last volcano down there. But remember, just because most of the volcanoes aren't dangerous, doesn't mean there aren't a few of them waiting to go off. Number 6. Pamul II. There is currently a massive train project going on in Mexico that's costing the government $8 billion. Mexico is constructing a train that will travel across the Yucatan Peninsula, stopping at all the most famous Maya archaeological sites. It's going to go to other places too, linking Mexico's ancient past in an easily accessible route for tourists. During the project, which involves bulldozing massive stretches of untouched forest, researchers have made amazing archaeological discoveries. Diego Prieto of Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History has just revealed the discovery of a lost Maya city between Playa del Carmen and Tulum. Professionals have identified over 300 buildings, and some of the megalithic structures stand nearly 30 feet tall. They are calling it Pamul II, and it could be the biggest discovery in Mexico's recent history. This could be an entirely new city with a past nobody ever knew about. New emperors, new temples, new pyramids, everything you can imagine being in a major Mayan metropolis. Are you excited? Number 5. The world's oldest fishhook. An artifact believed to be the oldest fishhook in the world has been discovered in Japan. On the island of Okinawa, tucked peacefully between the Japanese mainland and Taiwan, fishermen reeled in their catches 30,000 years ago. These were some of the oldest known anglers in human existence. And inside a small limestone cave, archaeologists came across a fishhook that was used 23,000 years ago. Not just one fishhook, though, they found multiple. All of them were carved from shells and were lost by Neolithic humans in Sakitari Cave, long before the dawn of modern civilization. Scientists say the limestone cavern was occupied seasonally by fishermen who would learn to track the migration of crabs and snails. The prehistoric people of Okinawa were unique because they didn't make a lot of stuff from stone. Unlike most Neolithic humans who used stone knives and other stone tools, the Okinawans almost exclusively used shells. They used them for fish hooks, for knives, and for most of their other tools as well. Aside from being interesting, the discovery is changing the way we see early humans living in coastal environments. The fact that they created fish hooks and understood migration patterns in the ocean all points to a much more sophisticated knowledge of the natural world than many scientists thought our ancient ancestors were capable of. Are you surprised? Let me know in the comments. Number 4. The Tasmanian tiger alive? In 1936, the very last Tasmanian tiger perished in captivity at Hobart Zoo in Tasmania. It was a sad day for the entire animal kingdom to see such a majestic animal fade into the obscurity of extinction. It's been almost 100 years now, and although there have been sightings here and there of the Tasmanian tiger, which is also called the thylacine, nobody's ever captured irrefutable proof of one alive. But not all scientists agree that they went extinct. Some experts are starting to wonder if the Tasmanian tiger isn't still running around somewhere in Tasmania. Scientists are saying thylacines likely survived in the wild until at least the 1980s. In a study published in the Science of the Total Environment journal, researchers detailed 1,213 reported sightings from 1910 until now. Barry Brook, a professor of environmental sustainability in Tasmania, says the team then tried to map the geographical pattern to see if there was some clue as to where the family of thylacines could still be living. It looks like they could have survived in remote areas up until about 30 years ago. In the southwestern wilds of Tasmania, Barry says there could still be a few surviving Tasmanian tigers. Other scientists are skeptical, though. Andrew Pask, a professor of epigenetics, says the thylacines are as good as dead. He says if they managed to live this long in the wild, someone definitely would have come across them by now. But regardless, the search continues for Tasmania's most famous extinct marsupial. Tasmanian tigers also used to live in Australia, but disappeared about 3,000 years ago because early humans hunted them to extinction. Then, in the 1880s, the first European settlers in Tasmania did the same thing. With the last ones gone, there is no other living animal that's remotely similar to the Tasmanian tiger. Do you think it could still be around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Number 3. The Forbidden Planet. Scientists have discovered a planet so strange it's changing everything we know about how planets exist. The planet is about the size of Jupiter and orbits a small star far away in the universe. One researcher called it the Forbidden Planet because it challenges standard theories as to how planets are created. Researcher Shubham Kanodia is a postdoctoral student of planetary science at the Carnegie Institute for Science. He and his team of researchers were using NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite when they spotted the gas giant, which they have named TOI-5205b. They were shocked because the planet is a quarter of the size of its star, approximately 40% of its mass. This is the first time such a huge world has been found orbiting a relatively tiny star. The planet is about 280 light-years from ours, and researchers say the planet and its star have no right to coexist together. Planets usually form in disks of gas and dust during the development of young stars. A massive world like Jupiter accumulated a huge amount of rock from the gas disk that once surrounded the sun to make its outer layers. What scientists don't understand is how TOI-5205b was able to produce enough material to grow so big inside the orbit of such a small star. It's not the biggest mystery out in the universe, but it's the most recent example of just how mysterious space can be. Scientists thought they'd figured out how planets are formed, but now they're not so sure. What the discovery really shows is how little scientists understand of the observable universe, even with everything we've learned in the past century. Number 2. Stone Age Dagger. An 8-year-old girl in Norway was at school one day when she found a dagger from the Stone Age. The girl, identified only as Elise, was playing outside near her school when she uncovered a flint knife that was crafted by humans 3,700 years ago. Elise said she thought she was just picking up a piece of glass, but something about the object struck her as curious. So she brought the artifact back to school to show her teacher, who understood immediately what the child had found. From there, the girl's teacher got in touch with a local archaeologist named Louise Bier Peterson. She confirmed the knife to be from the Neolithic period and hailed the dagger as an extremely rare discovery. When archaeologists took the stone dagger to analyze it, they found it was even more unique than everyone thought. It was made from a flint material that you can't find naturally in Norway. That means it must have come from somewhere else, likely originating in Denmark. Even more interesting is that the dagger may have been a status symbol for someone important in an early European community. At the end of the Stone Age, a time known as the Dagger period, humans started using knives as prestige objects. All other flint tools had very obvious purposes, like axes and knives used for hunting and chopping wood, but daggers never really served any purpose at all. This has led researchers to think they were luxury items, meant to display one's own prestige. They were also likely copied from much rarer metal daggers that were starting to appear as human civilizations shifted into the Bronze Age. Number 1. A Martian Book. NASA's Curiosity rover just took an unusual picture on the Martian surface. The rover took a photograph of what looks like a stone book on the red planet using the Mars Hand Lens Imager attached to the end of its robotic arm. The rock looks like a book that's been parted with some of its pages fossilized in the middle. But of course, this isn't a fossilized book. The image is blown out of proportion, making the rock look way bigger than it really is. The fossilized tome is only 1 inch across. If this was a book written by Martians that's since been petrified in red stone, the Martians must have been extremely small. But this isn't the only weird shape the Mars robot has photographed lately. Scientists recently saw images of a huge rock formation that looks like the face of a teddy bear. In February, the rover captured the first clear image of sun rays on Mars. Every now and then, images come back of rocks that look suspiciously like fossils or ruins, but NASA has never confirmed the existence of such things. There could be artifacts and fossils of extinct animals hidden on Mars beneath the surface, but for now, all NASA has officially found are rocks that look like books and teddy bears. Do you think there are any alien artifacts hidden on Mars? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye!